everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio and welcome to Catalog Kickoff Day for the 22 to 23 annual catalog. So I've been doing this, well, long before there was internet or any way to, I remember the first time that like people said, send a picture of your card. And I was like, how would you even do that? Because when I started, you would have had to have taken a picture of your card with your camera and then gone to get it developed and hoped that perhaps it turned out well. And it would have been like far away. And it just, you would have had to have a really good camera to get photography. So I've been doing this for a minute, since 1995. So I've had a lot of catalog kickoffs, and I really, really, really like that now we can do it with all the technology that we have on the days that technology is our friend, which is most of the time, but you have those days. So because the catalog is live today, there's a couple of things I want to tell you before we get going, but I'm going to be allowed to open it, and I'm actually filming this before it's May 3rd, and so then I thought I can't show them the inside of the catalog, and then I realized, when you see this, I can show you the inside. So for a minute, I felt like I was going to break the rules, and I realized I'm not. So as part of my catalog kickoff week, I have a couple of additional thank you gifts if you order from the 3rd to the 6th. So let me first tell you what my May gifts are, and then what you can get additional if you order from the 3rd to the 6th. So this May, if you spend $50 with me on my website, and this is for purchases, it doesn't include my club or if you take classes, because with those, I work the hostess dollars in to give you free merchandise in your club or in your class. So if you spend $50 with a website purchase and you use the host code, all of that's on my website. Or if you get my email, then it'll be right there and it's in the little link, so you don't even have to fill it in. You get the iridescent pearls and my first VIP video project. If you spend $175, then you don't need to use the host code because you'll get the stuff free from Stampin' Up as well. But I still send you your free stuff. You'll get the $50 things plus the heart elements. And if you spend $200, you get both VIP video projects plus all of the other things. Now, for the 3rd through the 6th, you still get those things, but everybody who purchases anything, even if it's just a package of dimensionals or cheapest things, everybody's gonna get a bonus VIP video project and the supplies to make it. So we get up to 3. Well, you'll get the videos for 3, but you make it the supplies for 3 projects too. Then at $75, you also get the in color opals, which this time I do have them laying here. This is the only one of the embellishments that I have currently. And then at $225, you get the sequins for everything. So if you tune in on Thursday, in that video, I will have all of the embellishments to show you. It might be too late. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, it might be too late. You might have to get them, and just trust me that they're going to be beautiful. I'll have the other ones to show you for the rest of the month. But on Wednesday, I will do an unboxing video so you can see them unboxed. So that's my specials. If you're a little bit confused about it because it was a lot of stuff, a lot of levels, then go to my website and it's all there. It's all there in a pretty picture and in words. And if you're on my email list, then you've already gotten it. So now for the catalog, if you still don't have one, that's a tragedy, but you can go to my website and you can look at it online. You can go to my website and just shop from the categories there as well. But if you need one, I'm happy to send you one. So just let me know. I need your address. So today, I almost got through everything. There's one stamp set that I didn't use yet, but I'm going to use the Sun Prints. It's actually called Nature's Prints, the little bundle that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the firm part of it because I hadn't yet used the folder. So I hadn't used that. I still haven't used this paper, but here's what I wanted to show you. So when you look at Sun Prints, number one, if you think, well, I don't like blue. Like blue's not my thing. This happens with a lot of you guys. Because the way I know it happens mostly with Valentine's, and then not with Valentine's. Number 1 with Halloween. Number 2 with Valentine's, and then like with the sport stuff, the stuff that kind of has a theme, or the dog stuff, or the cat stuff, or just general pet stuff. Because like the 3D embossing folder. Like, see, it's right here. And so what happens, especially with Halloween, people will say, oh, I didn't see that ribbon. I've never seen that ribbon. Where did you get that ribbon? And I'll say, it was part of the Halloween suite. Or, oh, I really like those little red hearts. Where'd you get those little red hearts? And I'm like, well, it was part of the Valentine suite. So it can happen on something like this because you turn the page and you're like, oh, blue's not my color. And so you immediately turn the page. But there's a secret with this one. So here's blue, and it's blue. The colors in it are Pacific Point, Night of Navy, Starry Sky, and then gray granite. So on the flip side of these, or what I like to call the other side, we have a lot of gray granite. So it's really pretty. So it's not just blue. But if you turn to this page back here, this is called Pretty Prints. And it comes in evergreen, gorgeous grape, petal pink, raspberry, shaded spruce, not any blues. And then if you read, it coordinates with the Sun Print suite, which is this. So there's really two papers. So if you just skip all this and you're like, yeah, I don't like blue, and you just turn the page, you're never going to see the beautiful fern folder. And you're never going to see this beautiful paper here. So, and I'm also going to use, this set does come with a little frame. I'm going to use a different one. As you can see, they did here too. Just because I want to show you a different little set, because now I can show you where it is in the catalog. I didn't look it up though, because I kind of forgot that I was going to look it up. So let's take a little gander. I'm not going to do a catalog walkthrough just yet. I might do one later in the month. One, I don't feel like I really know it very well because I haven't really looked at it a lot. And I think you'd rather see the stuff, right? But I do want to tell you that there are a lot of folders, a lot of dies back here that don't go with anything. So don't skip looking at these because, these dimensional things end up everywhere. The card doesn't take very long, so I can talk a little bit more. There are several sets back here that don't go with anything. Like I used the dots and spots, and that was a really popular video on Instagram. Sometimes they can be really popular on one of my channels and then none of y'all watch it on another one. So this one right here was super popular on Instagram. Like 30,000 people so far have watched it, which is a lot for me on Instagram. So the dots and spots, this little folder here, doesn't go with anything. The only way you're going to see it is if you look back here. Like the deckled rectangles don't go with anything. And then the one I'm going to use now is this Fabulous Frames. I have used it a lot. So if you've watched a lot of my previews, you have seen it. I haven't used these two yet, but I've used these other ones. And I'm going to use the Fabulous Frames right here on this one. Now, if you're watching this video and you're expecting to see the little supply list underneath, it still won't be there because I am doing this ahead before the catalog's live. Look at these fancy frames. Those don't go with anything either. There's tons of stuff back here that doesn't go, so take a look at it. And I can't make the little links until they give me the technology to do it. So here's the paper that I'm using. This is the one that has the purples in it. So the blackberry, the raspberry, the grape. Look how pretty it is. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty paper. And so then it comes in the one that has like the pinks and then the one that's in the greens. So if the blue's not your thing, don't get that whole pack of blue paper. Flip to the back. You can get the same bundle, but you can have this other shades of paper. I really love that. I think that's the first time that we've ever done one paper on the page and then flip back over and do another shade of paper. Super fun. So here it is, the Nature's Prints, and I'm just going to use the little fern because I want to use the fern folder. So I didn't get the only stamp set that I pre-ordered and I didn't use was the He's the Man, and I did use the paper a couple of times, so I gave myself a little bit of grace. And my husband went to the hospital in the middle of all of that, so we had that too. So I'm going to start with the blackberry paper to be my base. I love the blackberry. So I'm glad that there's some papers that go with it. Sometimes the colors I love, I don't use as often because often I use the colors that match our papers. And then I have the pearlescent papers. And this is a specialty paper. We've had it for a little bit of time now. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stamp on it. But here's the deal. When you stamp on the pearlescent, it takes forever to dry, like forever. And especially because it's spring and it's raining in a lot of the places, because those April showers, well, it's May, but they hang around here in Indy. But those April showers that bring the Mayflowers, they just make it take longer for the stuff to dry. So I have got the one that says You're in My Mind. The fonts in this set, super pretty. So we've got the You're in My Mind. Now I'm going to take this fun frame that I'm using. And I'm just gonna lay it here because I wanna keep using this paper and I wanna make sure I don't get these too close. Then I've got the fern. So you don't have to emboss this, but you would probably, here where it's a little bit humid, I would probably give it a good hour or so to dry. And I don't want to wait an hour because I'm terribly impatient. So I'm just going to pick this up. I'm going to take, well, I just had it and I just lost it. Oh, come on, there it is. It's behind my water. Our clear embossing powder. And I'm just going to emboss it that way. You could also just heat set it, but this just makes it shiny. And don't we love some shiny stuff on our, I mean, the paper's already shiny. This pearlescent paper is beautiful. And whenever you emboss anything in the clear, it just pops a little bit. I'm going to start with it under here because it's wet, and so obviously it will stick. Once I know my gun's hot, see it melt. It's just so pretty. Gives that little bit of shine to it. And then it's dry, and we don't have to worry about it smearing. But now I know my gun's hot, so I can move it to the top. Now, the funny thing about this pearlescent paper is that when it's hot, it kind of changes the color of the ink. And then as the paper cools off, the ink will go back to its original color. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of cut these apart. I do want to make sure that I don't cut this smaller than what this is. Because you don't want to send, we need to run this through the cut and emboss machine, but you don't want to send any image that you've just embossed straight through while it's hot, because it just takes it a second to cool down. But if you send it through while it's hot, then it's going to press it down more than it needs to be. So now let's send these through. So I have a couple of different things. This was one from back when I did lots of in-person classes. And I decided I'm just going to pull it out and I'm going to use it because I wrote on it. Sometimes when I do in-person things, or when we used to do big ones, I would write instructions on it. So we've got this. I have my fern die. And then let's get one of these on here. So these come in the set. That one's not going to fit very well. So let's put this one here. And just as many as I can get without having to do two. I don't want to take a bunch of time to go through here, but we're going to run this through twice. And then our frame. Let's got that. So this time we'll do this again. And then you saw on that piece of paper when I cut it out, I had that little square at the top. This one here. So we'll get these two long pieces. And all of these are in the set. They come with the sun prints. And we'll get this little one over here. So that was about I was going to say a quarter sheet of cardstock, but the pearlescent is a 12 by 12, so it wasn't a quarter sheet. But it looked like it was about a 4 by 5, which it probably was leftover. I just pulled it out of my leftover stack. So at some point when we've done a class and I've cut too many, now I just have to run a couple of these through this beautiful folder. So let's go first. Now, okay, I'm going to tell you, I should have kept it. I don't know where I laid it. I ran this piece the first time I did the card through this folder, and it kind of lost. You couldn't see all of the beautiful ferns because they got kind of smashed. So the second time, I just left it. So I'm going to leave that. Let me get this piece here because this is just kind of smudgy, so it's fine. I'll put this in here. Put that there. And then I'm just going to grab all my little leaves. Just kind of give them some texture. The birds are chirpy today. They're excited that it's new catalog week. So how many I ran through? I don't know if I did. How many little ones I did? I think I just did 2. So this is a 3D, which means it needs the gray plate. Look how pretty that is. And we have it on here. And then we have our little leaves. just have to stick this together. So these are cut 5.5 by 2. So when you add them together, it's 4. I don't like math, but that's easy math. That math I can do. And then when you put this one on, kind of think, I kind of like this over here, so I know that this part of the fern's going to show. So put one here. So you have those on there. I'm just kind of press them down. That's why I put adhesive all over the middle, so I knew that those would hit. Then I'm going to take my frame. Look how pretty this frame is. It has the stitching, and you could rub some ink on it if you wanted to kind of highlight that, but I don't want my frame on this particular card to be the focal point. So I'm going to use a fine tip glue on this to kind of highlight, to add the smaller pieces in this frame, which is easier than the seal. So put this here. And I'm going to take my seal right here and add some through the middle. Debated on all kinds of ribbon. I don't have hardly any of the new ribbon and none that matched this. And we don't have a ton of new ribbon. There was a natural ribbon that if I'd had it, I might have tried it, but I don't have it yet. And then I had let a lot of the ribbon that I did have run out, because you never know what's going to be retired and show up on that last chance list. So I did place an order yesterday and I kind of restocked on it, but it's kind of short. So this is just our linen thread. So it just kind of goes with that natural card. So I'm going to kind of throw this through here. Get some through the bottom, and you always need it to go a lot bigger than you think, because it can fall back in here and then none of it shows. And if you're going to go to the time to put it on here, then you want it to be seen, right? So I'm just kind of right now threading it through the... So you've got that. Now I'm going to take my dimensionals that I've covered up again, so we can pop this part up, but it will also help angle these where we want them to be. So I want this one to go over here. So just kind of grab those, put those under. Grab these up here. I'm going to kind of twist those. A lot of times the mechanics of a card happen down underneath where you don't see it. So this would be really ugly if anybody could see it, but nobody's going to see it but us. Put that there. And see, if you're not careful when you put your thing on, all this could flip right back down underneath there. We don't want that to happen. In fact, I want it to kind of go up there as well. Maybe I'll have it go over this direction and just have a little bit of it show. And I'll just pull these off so I can have some more dimensional tops show in my next video that don't go in this one. At one point I used to have a little container here and I tried to put them in it. That didn't last very long because I still threw them to the side. Now you just want to make sure when you put this on, you kind of hold them all out there. Got that. Isn't it pretty? It's pretty just kind of like that. And we'll be able to kind of move these now with our next step. So these are big enough that I can go back to my seal. I just kind of put this kind of in between one so it kind of lays it flat. Get my other one. I mean, see, they kind of looked like there was linen thread going everywhere, but once you start putting your other stuff on here, look how much of it starts disappearing. So it went from, oh my gosh, she's putting a lot of thread on there, to just little bits of thread now are showing. Now we'll get our glue again. You want to put a little bit more glue on here than you might otherwise, because This paper is paper. It's not cardstock. And once you have cut it thin like that and then put it through the embossing folder, it's pretty delicate. Stick that one there. I would hate for it to tear when you'd send it to somebody. So you can see, you probably can't see, I can see right here where the stem happened to go right through the crease of a folder. Those places look a little bit thin to me. So those I'm gonna make sure especially that I get some glue on. These smaller ones are good. It's just those tall ones. I'm not sure where I want these. And the nice thing with the glue, I can move it if I don't like it because it takes a second for it to set. You could do more of them. There's a bunch of these in there that come in the set, or you could punch more of just this same shape. And then because I went with the linen thread, originally I was going to use the opal in color rounds because the freesia matches. It kind of picks up the freesia there. But once I did the linen thread, it had more of a rustic look than originally was in my mind, because I had thought about doing these in the pink rose gold, or the rose gold, or in the gold. This card, as simple as it is, it went through several variations before I was pleased with it. So when it was like this, to kind of add the glittery stuff, I even had these out because they kind of looked pretty and clear. But then I just went back to, these are part of the He's the Man, and they were laying here because look, here's where I got my embellishments, because I have just finished filming this one a couple of hours ago. And this is all kind of men's stuff. So it's got the linen thread and it has these fun new metallic dots. So I took it from a men's card to a fun little natural card. But here, think about this. This, I really wanted to do one of the wine cards and I just didn't get to it. You could have this and take the wine glass and move it over here. And instead of the ferns, put the wine glass over here. So if you're looking at this and you're like, what would I do with the wine glass? Just put it over here. So that's another idea for you. And these are the same embellishments as that I used earlier today. So if you saw the tutorial I posted yesterday, which was that beer card, then this is the same as that. I did do 5 of them because there's kind of a lot going on and you want to do them in odd numbers. So you have 3. So here's when I was with 3 and I was like, I need a couple more. So I did 3 of the small and 2 of the large. And then you noticed them a little bit more. Isn't that a pretty card? And it's really simple. And I know that when I was putting all that linen thread on there, some of you were thinking, oh, she's got a lot of thread on there. But look, so pretty, so easy. So head to my website, place your new catalog order. I have so many videos to show you this week. So right now they're all in my head because I don't even own this stuff. But I have some ideas. I sketched them down. I'm working on Try It class for those of you that are going to do that. So I don't have the stuff for some of those too in my head because I don't own this stuff. But I have a few of the cards done for the things that I own. I'm going to work on this one next. That's why I pulled the paper out. And then I was like, I think this goes with that other stuff. So everybody have a great day. If you need to call an order in, you are welcome to call them to me. Obviously my phone is also my camera. So when I'm filming or downloading or editing, I can't answer, but you can always leave a message. I'm happy to call you back if you have any questions. If you want to join my team with that fabulous special that we have right now, you can do that as well. So everybody have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you back here a lot this week. Bye-bye.